Hey, welcome to the Closing Time Podcast. My name is David Mansour, and I'm a mortgage loan officer here in Peachtree City, Georgia. And the goal of my podcast is simply to give you some insight and maybe look behind the curtains in the lives of some of the people that you do business with and see who they are outside of their careers. I hope you enjoy. All right, we are here with two-time cancer survivor, global speaker, author.
Author.
Yeah. I said that right. Patient advocate, mom, wife, and you have your own, what's it called? Armor for Life. That is a nonprofit.
Yes, a nonprofit.
Welcome.
I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for being here. Say your whole name for me because I didn't want to say it because I was scared I was going to mess up, and I can't roll my R's.
It's Loriana Hernández-Aldama.
Well, you didn't roll any R's.
I didn't. Sometimes it was too much for people on TV. Hernández-Aldama.
You know what's funny is, off topic, but Max was in speech therapy, my youngest, from 2.5 to, no, it didn't. He started at like 4 or 5. And whatever they were making him do, they had him press his tongue to the roof. I don't think it was for the R. It might have been for the R, but whatever it was, he could then.
Oh, really?
It was doing that same sound. I was like, huh. And then I started doing it. I was like, and I practiced it and I got it. I was like, I figured it out. That's how they do it. But I don't think that's natural. So how are you?
I am good. I'm glad to finally be here. We've been trying to get together to do this podcast for a long time.
Yes.
I'm good. I don't want to say I'm tired. I'm good, busy, but I'm not. I would say I'm at peace with my schedule.
Yeah.
Like I always say that you got to be at peace where you're at. So sometimes when I say, I can't do that, people are like, oh, you're stressed. I'm like, no, I'm not doing things so I'm not stressed.
Awesome.
Because I don't want to be. I was stressed before I had cancer. I was like a hamster on a wheel, and look where it landed me.
Yeah. Didn't help.
Twice. So no, I don't run. I get to the airport 3.5 hours early. People are like, and I'm like, no, I'm not running. I want to be in no hurry. I want to go sit and relax. I don't want to. My life was rushed. I don't want to rush for anything anymore.
It's so funny. It tells me that I'm getting old because I used to, and I still do this in regular life, but with the airport, if I was supposed to be there 45 minutes and it took 23 minutes to get to the airport, I did the math and I always got there the second. And obviously something always happened and I was running through the airport every time. And now I'm not 3 hours, but I'm always like, no, I don't want to have to carry things and run and all that. So I'm an early person now. And I'm sure most of my family would be shocked to hear that because I've missed many flights.
Oh, really?
In my 20s and 30s.
I have never, but I think it's a TV in me that early is on time in TV. And so even now, if I call a car service to go to the airport, I don't go in Ubers. I have anxiety. That's a whole nother topic from my cancer. But when I call a car service and they're like, are you sure you need to get there 3 hours? I'm like, listen, don't question. I'm going to get there what time I need to have peace. I can go sit in the Sky Club or I can just sit. I love to write. I just want to get because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it used to drive me crazy, though, when you would do like a charter bus, like when we'd have awards trips or if we were going on something where it was a group and your flight was at 2 and you had to be at the hotel lobby at 8:30. For the hotel show. I'm like, what math is that? But
the math I did.
Yeah. Well, they obviously it's a shuttle service. They can't afford to have anybody missing flights because they would be responsible and have to pay for it. I just thought it was funny because it used to drive me crazy because you would get to the airport and just sit there for hours and hours. And I'm fine. I want to sit there for about 30, 45 minutes. If it's more than an hour, it's wasted time.
I always say my husband and I were both Cuban. We are the most on-time Latins you will ever meet. Like if you have a party, we know Latinos were on island time, not us. We've worked in TV too long. If you say the party starts at 5, we're rolling up at 4:45. So you better have your food out and be ready because I'm always on time or early.
That's awesome.
Because you would get in the news business.
I wonder if are Asian people the same? And I'm all about stereotypes. Hopefully you're not sensitive to them. No offense. My son has a lot of Asian friends. And he's had a couple. He had a Halloween party and he had a Thanksgiving party. And they all showed up 20 minutes before the party started.
Yeah.
All of them. Like, I'm like, what's going on? Because my goal was to be out in the driveway and meet the parents and say hello.
And you're like, wait a minute, they dropped their kids
and they're all like walking in and going. And they're very generous. I mean.
Culture Culture is everything. I mean, culture is everything. And everyone has, it's just like I do a lot of advocacy with a company based in Germany. And they love that I'm always on time. You're like, you're on German time. I'm like, it's not island time. That's for sure. I'm on German time.
Yeah. So you call it island time. Some people call it CPT.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard that term, which, you could be CPT.
I'm Cuban.
You're Cuban. There you go. We'll call it Cuban time. Yeah.
Cuban time.
Cuban people's time. But I remember in college, I went to an African-American church. I love just African-American gospel. Yeah, just they're just excited. And service on the sign said, 11 o'clock. And I go in there, and I get there 10:55.
No.
And I go, and there's like 3 people in the front, and I go up there, and I'm like, I sit in the back, even though there's nobody there, but like maybe 10 people. And they grab me and go, come on up. And they moved me all the way up to the front and then asked me to move into the center. And I was like, what is, I thought they just really wanted me to pay attention. No. An hour into it, people start showing up. So it started at 11. At 12 o'clock, people start showing up. I look around and 12:15, now it's full, and now I'm trapped in the middle. Right. I'm like, no.
And you're like, wait, I got here
My
early.
church gets out at 12. What do y'all? No. And I was stuck there, and at 1 o'clock, I think,
it keeps going.
It keeps going. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out, how do I get up in the middle of these people? Obviously, I'm the only white person there. And I didn't want to seem rude, but I was like, I've been here since 11.
Listen,
this is 2 hours.
I've already been here. I've said my prayers 18 times. That's so funny. Wow. That is so funny.
Well, I wanted to, I don't know where I came up with the idea. This is a library-themed podcast today. We're talking about, I just wanted to talk about chapters. I use this term a lot when I talk to my kids or anytime anybody's struggling about chapters, like not letting moments in their lives define them.
Yes.
And that whatever you're going through, no matter how hard it is or how great it is just a chapter. And there's another one coming after it.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I try to do that as encouragement to let them know that they can work through it. And there's you're turning the page, whatever. So you have a lot of chapters.
Oh, I?
What chapter are we in now?
I'm in survivorship post 2 cancers, but I say survivorship is not easy. There are days, I'm at the doctor all the time. People think the biggest misconception about cancer is like, oh, the surgery's over or the transplant's over. She's done. She's back to normal. No, it's a whole new chapter. Like for me, I went through leukemia. I went through a bone marrow transplant. 5 years later to the day I had breast cancer. There have been so many chapters. Literally, when I got out of my leukemia treatment, I was separated from my son for a whole year. I was at Johns Hopkins in the hospital. My mom raised Gabriel, my son, here in Peachtree City, and had people help her, like my sister. And that was traumatic. And not only did I lose friends on the hall, people died every day. I lost my hair. I lost my career. I lost my DNA. I don't even have my own DNA anymore. I mean, I lost I nearly lost my marriage because you become patient caregiver.
Oh, yeah.
So the trauma of all these losses and that your marriage is not the same, your body's not the same, your brain's not the same. I literally came out and I would start, because the only thing I know as a former news anchor is to talk. And I said, I was going from living the life as this high profile news anchor to fighting for my life and so lost in survivorship, literally wanting to take my own life. And I share that because even in our own community, we've heard about people recently that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I've been there at those moments where I'm like, I am done. It is so hard. But I remind my son, look at all the things that have happened since I did not give up, because it's still hard. And there are, I can't go run anymore. I have to walk. I can't go back to my TV job. But what I say to people, and I just said to a friend of mine, she was crying because she lost her job. And so many people are losing their jobs. And I said, listen, honey, you lost your job. You didn't lose your gift.
Yeah.
And it took me so long to learn that you can lose your job, but you don't lose your gift. I lost my whole self almost, but the one thing I had left was I can still talk.
You have an incredible smile. Jesus. Like you are the most, you are so photogenic. And so you have a YouTube channel, which is part of your, why I keep losing the word.
So when I was in the hospital, I launched
Armor Up, the nonprofit. I keep losing the word nonprofit for some reason. So you launched a nonprofit, and is it all about advocacy?
It's all about cancer. So Arm Up for Life is all about empowering patients and caregivers for cancer, and educating some providers, because at community hospitals, their providers are so busy, they're not up to date on everything either. So I have access to people from being a former news anchor and network medical reporter. I'm able to give people really a front row seat to experts. And so I love it because I didn't understand my own damn cancer journey. Yeah. I was so lost. And I'm like, I'm a medical reporter. I didn't know what the hell I was reading. They're like, here's
what is a medical reporter? Like, I saw that in your bio. What is a medical reporter?
Well, I would interview experts like on cancer or ALS or Alzheimer's or the latest, if some new study that would show like blueberries, some of the skin.
So that was
like my beat. Okay. Like, I don't know what it's
So you work for a regular news type of place, but your focus was on medical.
Yes. So I was a news anchor. I worked for, if you don't like one, I worked for the other. I worked for CNN, Fox, and NBC. So I
don't like either of them.
So I worked, and we all work really hard, even though there's a whole thing about journalists. I pride myself on being unbiased, but I also, because of my love for health, so if I wasn't covering hard news on the set anchoring, I interviewed and did stories on the latest breakthroughs in science for Alzheimer's disease, or new technology that could help detect some type of, whether it was cancer or any other diseases. Cancer is always in the front of my brain, but I know there's so many other illnesses out there. So that's what we do. We interview experts to educate, empower patients and caregivers to navigate this journey, because I didn't know what the hell I was going. I didn't understand the clinical trials. I didn't understand the paperwork. And it really wasn't, it was like, here's the medicine, here's the chemo, but there's so much more. And so now through that, and then through my own speaking, I now travel and speak and talk about mental health. I have PTSD and depression and anxiety. I'm so transparent. People don't talk about that. Yeah. Like, you come out, you're broken and alive, and you're depressed. You're a new person. Your body's not the same. You don't feel the same. And people are like, the meal train ended. They think you're all good. So from my bedside, it inspired me to start my nonprofit. And then through that, people started saying, hey, can you come speak at our conference? It will help educate the doctors of how to treat the next patient, or what went wrong in your journey. And so I'm like, well, that's the only part that's not broken. I'll get on stage and talk.
So you say it's a battle. Is it a daily battle?
Yeah.
Or a weekly battle? I mean, it's like every day you are having to pick yourself up and compartmentalize. I don't know if that's something that because I imagine that, we all have struggles, nothing like what you're battling, but at some point you've got to get up and go to work, and you've got to catch an airplane and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the battles are all different, but I put it to you this way. I had an oncologist, and I share her story without her name all the time, because I was crying about some abnormal blood tests, and she was like, honey, maybe you should forget you had cancer. And I was like, I stood up and I started wagging my finger, went into full Latina mode. I'm like, listen, when I wake up and my feet are on fire from neuropathy, I don't forget I had cancer. When I go to wake my son up and climb the steps, I'm on this pill that causes bone pain. I could barely make it up the steps. I don't forget I had cancer. When PTSD impacts where I go, what I do, and who I see, I don't forget I had cancer. When I look at my bills, I don't forget I had cancer. So how the hell am I supposed to? And when I look in the mirror after having breast cancer, and you've had your breast cut off, and you're like, who the hell am I? You don't forget you had cancer.
No.
So people who say, oh, you should, and people say this, and husbands say this to wives. I have people call me crying, like, you should just forget. I'm like, listen, let me chop your thing off, and let me tell you, if you forget that you had cancer, if we chopped yours off. Okay. So
is there cancer where that falls off? Oh, no, I know.
So we can't use that clip to promote it, but I'm like, how difficult is it when you look in the mirror and your body doesn't function the same?
Yeah.
You have no hormones, no estrogen, depending on what kind of breast cancer you had. Then with the chemo from the radiation from leukemia, you have cognitive issues, different things. I have PTSD because they took my son away for a year, and people died to the left and right. Like, what does wake up at war.
What does that look like for you? Like, what would be a trigger? I don't know. And forgive me if I use the wrong words, because I'm I'm
No,
not.
no.
But like, what does PTSD look like for somebody that had cancer? Like your son goes away to camp, because I know he's at Trinity and he went away for camp for a week. So that's
I did not sleep for a week because when they took him away from me, I had no idea I would not see him for a year. And people died every day who had kids, who walked and did everything they were supposed to do on the hall too. I just happened to make it 1 in 4. So when I'm separated from my son, I'm always thinking, it's not just at the hospital, like smelling the alcohol wipes that trigger. It's walking on the jetway. Every time I get on a plane, I hear my son crying. When I had I had to walk away from him saying, "Mommy, Mommy." And I got on the plane and went to Johns Hopkins by myself to save my life because I was misdiagnosed at a community cancer center in Austin, Texas. That triggers, I start crying. I get on when they say anyone needing special attention. I'm like, me, because I cried down the whole jetway. But then it's other things. If you say, hey, let's all go to Atlanta and have drinks just without the kids and let's go to dinner. If it's raining like it is today, and I'm thinking like, what if there's an accident? What if I die? What if my son grows up without a mom? Like, whew, it just goes like my decision making. Like, it's not that I don't want to go celebrate your birthday. I don't want to die and leave my son without a mom after all I fought. So it's things like that people don't get because they think that your PTSD is only when you're at the hospital, walking in, seeing the rooms or smelling alcohol wipes or seeing that. No,
so that's probably the same thing.
And leaving my son. I'm like, listen, I fought this hard. Yeah. So my decision making is based on not letting my son not grow up without a mom.
Yeah.
If you find this video, please subscribe.
And so I've had a couple widows on, and I would imagine that's probably the same PTSD they have.
Yeah.
From
and what have they
going
said?
out of town and we didn't talk about it, but I just connected the two when you talk about, the fear of not seeing them again or leaving.
Yeah.
Because for a widow, they've got to imagine, okay, that spouse didn't know when they woke up that day that they were never going to see their kids again.
Yeah. Like when I leave, I always leave Gabriel and Caesar a note, and I leave Gabriel a note that says, I always say it's going to stick in my head. I say, I love you so much. I'm very proud of you. I write it like just in case I don't see him again. And it's hard. I do it. And I don't even vocalize it to other people because they're like, oh my God, why are you so, we're all going to, I'm like, listen, I don't want to hear we're all going to die. And I fought like in a war zone in the hospital for a year. People were dying. Like I would walk with someone one day and they were gone the next day. Like they didn't wake up. I was scared to sit. So my brain is like, I'm always scared something's going to happen. There is no way. When I went and advocated and they brought me to Amsterdam, and this year they brought me to Portugal, and I said, I ain't going without my son. Like, I'm not.
That's all you take them. So you're just taking him out of school and go. It's go time.
So if I get invited, I'm like, I had to, I'm like, I'm not going without him because I'm not getting stuck in another country.
Yeah.
It's
with COVID. So COVID probably didn't help.
No. COVID, I had breast cancer. 5 years to the day is when I got breast cancer after my leukemia. So it's really all perspective because everyone was like, and again, COVID was tragic for so many people. So many people died. We even lost my father-in-law. So I don't make light of it. But when people are like, oh, we can't leave. I'm like, been there, done that. I
can't leave my bedroom because
I tried sitting in the hospital bed for a year, looking at 4 walls, not seeing your kids.
Yeah.
You were confined to your house with the people you love, cooking food that you love, without being told every day you're going to die.
Yeah.
Like I was like, and when they told me I had breast cancer, even though I was devastated, I was like, oh, the first thing I wasn't shocked because I knew the full body radiation put me at risk. First thing I said is, can I fight at home? Can I be with my son?
Yeah.
And they said, yeah. I said, no problem. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Dude, it was such a different perspective because I was like, I'm a veteran of this war.
Yeah.
Long before it started, I got the N95. I have everything I need and my family, and I can fight cancer in my house. Got it.
So we lost Scott last week from cancer, and he 9 months is all he make it. One of the greatest guys I've ever known. It's amazing how they, and he,
do I know? No.
Scott, he goes to Southside. He's got a family there in Boy Scouts as well, not in our troop. His wife's Wendy. I don't know, but it was.
Oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah, it was crazy because she told a story of him being in the hospital. The only reason I brought that is because she told a story about how he was in the hospital battling and encouraging all these other people.
Because it feeds your soul.
Right. And she talked about how they disappeared, how hard it was to encourage that person next to you and be around and get to know families, and you're fighting the same fight, and then all of a sudden that whole family's not in the room next to you, and that was I don't know, that just hit.
Mentally it takes a toll.
I can't imagine
that you know. So people are like, "Oh, you're strong." I'm like, you don't know, I can be strong. That's great, but the people next to me were strong too, and they're not here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, there's nobody strong. I say that there's nobody stronger than Scott, and that's what makes me know. I think it was.
What kind of cancer did he have?
What did you have?
Leukemia.
I think it was leukemia.
Leukemia is a beast. It is brutal, and the acute myeloid leukemia (AML) is the one that the treatment had not changed in 40 years when I was diagnosed 10 years ago, and now they've made some changes, but everything is like all about breast cancer. I have to say it, all about breast cancer. And yes, there are people dying from breast cancer. We need more advancements. But I tell this one story every time I speak, that when I walked across the street from the leukemia building at the same institution to the breast cancer building, it was like going to Disney. Like there were people with clipboards. You want free parking and transportation and childcare. And I was like, where are you across the street? Like nobody paid for shit for me. Nobody helped. I was like, we almost lost our house. But breast cancer is the most heavily funded. And yes, I'm so grateful they get funding because they need it. But all the cancers matter. We talk about.
Is that marketing? That's weird to say that because
there's more funding. More when you talk.
But why are they getting more funding?
Because 1 in 8 people, 1 in 8 women.
So it is
there are men, but if it
not popular, that's probably a bad word, but it's a high risk cancer, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's 1 in 8 women. Okay, so more people do get it. However, when you talk 1 in 8 women, you get someone who's high profile, someone who's a big funder. It starts to hit people who have money in their pockets, and that also helps fund because there's more attention to it. But yes, I mean, listen, breast cancer is no walk in the park. It's completely different than leukemia. You're not going to be. There are people with leukemia who are hospitalized for 6 months. I was there for a year, and the advancements are so much less. They're working, but they just can't seem to unlock the code for AML. And that one is just brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know, and I mean, all of that just reminds me of watching their journey because he went to Austin and he was away from his kids. And then I have another friend
that went to Austin for treatment?
I believe somewhere in Texas.
Maybe MD Anderson.
Maybe.
I hope not Austin. That's where they.
Maybe, it probably wasn't Austin.
I mean, I love Austin.
I don't remember the details.
Misdiagnosed twice there.
Yeah, but to being away from their kids, and then I have a friend that is supporting. I love your video that you did with somebody because you were also a caregiver, so you spoke from that angle, which was it was amazing. I've not watched all of your videos, but out of the 3 or 4 I've watched, that was my favorite because it touched on something that we don't think about, like how hard that caregiving is.
It is, and I didn't know the weight that my husband carried until I would say recently. I mean, my husband and I, we were in counseling too because, and you should go to counseling because you get reduced to patient caregiver. Half the time from the medicine, you can't be intimate. That affects your marriage, but then you have the bills. You're constantly stressing, like, how are we going to pay this? And then the caregiver's tired. Like my husband was holding down a job, driving to Bethesda, Maryland. I'm in Johns Hopkins. He had to leave every day to go to work. And then he'd come back and I'd look at him like, what are you tired about? What the hell's I'm like, oh, that's right. You fought for your life. I mean, because I was like, he would come in with this just head down and I was pissed. I mean, literally, because I was so traumatized. I mean, because they said, sign this paper, you're probably going to die. So mentally, I was not with it. But so he would walk in and I'm like, you know what? When he comes back this time, I'm not going to be in my room. I'm going to disappear. I'm going to walk because I used to walk anyway. So he can wonder where I went. Like here I am, a woman pushing a pole with my knee, and I want him to think that I just disappeared.
Yeah.
But I was pissed because I didn't understand. I'm like, what are you so freaking tired about? What? Please explain. And then in hindsight, through counseling, when he was like, I feel like it's patient caregiver and I still need to take care of you. I'm like, I'm going giving speeches on stages. Yes, I know that I need help mentally to cope with what I've been through. But I'm trying to get back up and pay it forward for the kindness. So I said, you know what, if you feel like a caregiver, why don't you come give a speech? So I got him a speech, and he's not a speaker. And he sobbed for 5 minutes. This is my husband. We call him flatline because he shows no emotion.
I would agree with that. I spent a camp out with him.
Oh, right.
Boy Scouts.
He was great. No emotion, the most introverted person. And he sobbed for 5 minutes. He could barely get through his speech.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the weight that he carried.
Yeah.
And now seeing from other caregivers that then I went through and I took care of my sister, took care of my mother who had cancer. And I got them meal trained. My sister was like, I know I'm ADD, by the way, I'm all over the place. Just jump from. But
that's what my podcast description says. Is my podcast is only as good as my attention span. It's basically what it says.
But when I talk caregiver, not everybody wants to ask for help. And I say you have to wave the flag, build a pit crew, and ask for help. My sister got breast cancer, and she was like, I don't want people to know. I don't want to GoFundMe. I said, oh, so you want me to fund you? I have no money. You got the wrong person. I don't need a meal train. I don't want people to know. And I get it because everyone fights differently. But when you refuse help, you are putting more of a burden on your own family, which you don't want to burden. And I said, so I'm getting you food to come home from your treatment. I didn't get to feed my own family. And I never thought of that angle because it's all about the patient. So if you are listening and you're watching and someone's going through cancer or any ALS or, a lot of these diseases are so hard on families. Say, hey, my friend Ann, how's George, who's going through cancer? How are you, Ann? How are you doing? How are you holding up? Yeah. Because no one really addresses the caregiver. You see the doctors surrounding the patient and the caregivers behind them.
Yeah. Well, if you are watching and you are a caregiver or a person, like she said, check out her YouTube channel, Armor Up. Because I loved it. I think it just gave a lot of information. And also, is that the episode where you talk to like things that you could do for people, or like just show up and say, "Put your laundry on the front porch," and I'm gonna pick it up and do it.
Take my stuff home.
Yeah.
But I do want. I don't know if we're wrapping or not.
No. I wanted to hit that while I was there because I just thought that was a great video.
Clean some. Get people together and pay a house cleaner for one. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. Then you gifted me time, the gift of time to spend with my family. One, you shouldn't be around the dust and the germs, but then the time of not having to pick up and I could actually go make memories with my kid.
Yeah.
Getting my house clean was like one of the best gifts someone gave me. But I also wanted to talk about all the things that I learned through cancer. Like when I was diagnosed, I was a high-profile news anchor. I was on the go. My motto was, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I was at emceeing galas, doing all kinds of, I was living this great life, like where I say people think they're invincible. I'm like, yeah, that was me. Like, your biggest problem is what outfit you're going to wear to the gala. Like I went and raised money for good causes, and I was happy to do it. But at the end of the day, I was also like, oh, it's another fun gala and my dress. And, you're not thinking that way until my story becomes your story. And I never rested and I never gave myself permission to rest. I would take my phone and put it under my yoga mat in case I would not miss the big story. So I was just like, climb the ladder. And I later learned in researching now, talking to researchers, going to Rice University, going and meeting with different doctors and researchers around the world, the impact of stress that it has on your body and how stress causes inflammation in the body, and inflammation is a fertilizer for cancer. So part of my new thing I'm doing now,
that's scary,
is telling people is, some woman started I Do Not Care Club. I say I'm starting my Not Worth My Stress Club.
Yeah.
Because if you could sit down with researchers and see what lack of sleep does to your body and stress and cortisol levels do to lay the groundwork for cancer and other illnesses, trust me, if someone said the sky's green, you're going to be like, it's green.
Yeah.
I don't have time to argue with people.
Have you there's a book, I guess, called Let Them. Have you seen
yes.
that? Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
For the ADD people, just watch one of the 5-minute YouTubes and you basically read the whole book. It's a little repetitive, but it's a heck of a theory.
Yeah.
Like I was the person that was always worried about why didn't I get invited to the party, or why did they do that? Why did they go there? Or why did that guy pull out in front of me? Or why are they choosing to slow traffic? Or all these little things that I would get so angry about. And that little bit of a video, I'm like, just carry on.
Let them. Be kind. Help someone put their shopping cart away.
Yeah.
Just, the like the road rage and just the anger, because I know people are under so much pressure. We all have have a story. We all carry something heavy that people aren't talking about. I'm very transparent about the problems I'm facing, but it's not everybody's thing to do that. But I just say, be aware. I checked the box. I did my diet. I was mostly plant-based, eating clean, working out, doing boot camps, doing yoga. I wasn't sleeping, and I was stressed. And if you keep saying, I'll sleep when I'm dead, one day someone's going to pull up a chair like they did with me and say, you're going to die. And you're going to reevaluate. And now I've had to, even with my own family, I love them, but they're used to the old fiery, I tell my sister, my mom, I'm not talking about this anymore. I'm done. Peace. I don't want to argue.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm a pushover or a doormat. It's just not worth my stress. So I tell people, say to yourself when you're arguing or you're going through something with a spouse or a loved one or family members, I always say, I love you and I love your family who may not like me or whatever, but I love myself more and want to be here for my son.
Yeah.
So I cannot engage in this conversation. I had to set boundaries because I'm high risk for a third cancer.
That's hard to do with family because you feel like you're supposed to love them and supposed to be close and supposed to be that. But sometimes you have to let them go for your own sanity.
Yeah. I mean, it's been hard I'm close with my family, but you have challenging times, maybe let's say with in-laws and I'm like, I love them. I'm not going to argue. I don't have time for this. Not that my health cannot warrant any more cortisol.
Right.
Like after 2 cancers, I'm at the tipping point. They tell me you're high risk for a third. Any more inflammation in your body, you can get cancer like that.
So does your body repair itself at all, or will you be like this for the rest of your life? You're high risk. I mean, obviously you're high.
I'm high risk. So because when you have leukemia, which is another reason we need advancements, in many cases, not all, but for AML leukemia, acute myeloid leukemia, which is what I had, you get full body radiation. So you hear precision medicine these days and you're like, oh, you have cancer in your chest. They're going to target just the radiation right to your chest. No, they put me in a room and it's full body and they shut the door and they don't measure anything. They just blast you. And when you have full body radiation over and over to your whole body, you're at risk of cancer to your whole body. Like genetics don't even matter. It doesn't matter what my family had. I have an ortho-oncologist because I'm at risk of bone cancer. I have GYN oncologist. I'm at risk of, cervical cancer, ovarian cancers. I have an oncologist for a dermatologist oncologist. I'm at risk of all different kinds of skin cancer. You name it, I have a pit crew and of every oncologist for every body part, and I get scanned. Or they try to do the ones without the radiation, but I get ultrasound every 6 months. So by the time I alternate
that's what my next question is. How often? So you got all these different groups. Is it like every quarter you're going to somebody, or can you lump them all together?
No. I mean, you can't always lump them all together because they're different MRIs and different. So I'm at Emory in a machine. That's some of the stress is that.
Well, imagine.
It's like
the drive up there.
It's every month you're like going, whew, oh, thank God I don't have cancer. Then you're in another machine. Just check, make sure you don't have cancer. Oh, thank God. So if you went through that roller coaster of thank God I don't have cancer, like every month, that up and down is torture. So for instance, I'm all over the place.
No, I absolutely love it.
After you're like, I'm not getting a freaking word in.
No, I don't need a word. You are the best speaker I've ever heard. So I love your
after breast cancer. If you had a hormone positive breast cancer, so I had a breast cancer that was driven by estrogen. I'm on a pill, like many women, that removes all hormones from your body. What does that do? Well, it might make you cranky. I mean, I'm surprised I'm so nice with no hormones. I tell my husband, you were so lucky that I am so kind with no hormones because you would not be acting like this. But your risk of fractures and tears, and because your hormones they're protective of your body, of your bones. So I have a rotator cuff tear. But here's how it goes. I go to my doctor. I'm like, I'm having like shoulder pain. And they're like, we got to make sure it's not cancer. It could have spread to your shoulder. Okay. So then you get thrown in and up because I'm high risk. Like, like if you went somewhere, they'd be like, let's do some PT, see if it goes away. No, everything is like, let's see if she has cancer. Yeah. Then I had pain here. Breast cancer 10 years, years later could have metastasized.
You can imagine, because at our age, we get small pains all the time. So for you, it goes straight to cancer.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, my ankle hurts. Or I get a headache because of the air pressure or whatever.
And they're like, we have to make sure so that I'm like, listen, I'm not getting in that cage. You're going to have to sedate me. So that constant rise and fall of, let's make sure you don't have cancer. Let's make sure that alone of celebrating, which I'm grateful I can celebrate all the time of, I don't have cancer. And then there's another mission, you get a colonoscopy. Let me thank God I don't have cancer. That constantly like that is, while I'm being proactive, it is very stressful. Yeah. And people go through it all the time, or they just don't follow up with their appointments. And that's where you hear
it comes back.
It comes back and they caught it later. So I'm being proactive, but it's also stressful. Yeah. I'm writing a book called Finding Joy Between Fence Posts, or Finding Joy in the Straightaways. My coach does not like my fence post title, but I have had to learn to find joy in the straightaways, between the fence posts, between the speed bumps. Because if I didn't find joy then, I would lose my freaking mind.
Yeah. Well, I know what section your book would be in of your life
I didn't even
to go back to that metaphor.
I didn't answer the question. What section? I'm in surviving.
No, you did. You said survivorship, but I would say you'd be in the motivational section, because you smile with your eyes. You smile with. I don't know. I can't imagine the battles that you're fighting all day, every day, but you don't show it, and that is inspiration for me.
I'm excited every time
I watch your video. Yeah. I watch your videos. I don't even know what it's all about. I don't understand half the terms. You got fancy people on there, and you're in another country, but I enjoy the passion. I love being around passionate people, and I think that's awesome.
I just want people to be grateful that they put their feet on the ground and, take care of their health, because how you show up to illness matters. So here's my other thing. I know you're like, we're out of time, sister. This is what I do to people in my quiet. I'm like, give it a wrap.
We are going to wrap it up here. Go ahead.
Okay, I have three things. Prepare, present, prevail.
Just say it slowly. You don't have to rush to it.
Prepare, present, prevail. You are preparing today with all the decisions you make of how you take care of your body, what you eat, how much you sleep, the stress, the toxicity, all of that determines how you prepare for illness. So it determines how you present to your medical team, because they'll say, how does the patient present? And that determines how well you are positioned to prevail in anything in life. I prepared myself for illness. I was fit, also laid the groundwork, but it helped me present better to my medical team because I was fit and I was better positioned to prevail. I could withstand more chemo, more radiation than others could. So I tell everyone, don't wait until you start having pains or you get a diagnosis to start preparing, because you're preparing every day with the decisions you're making, the toxicity you let in, the stress you let in, what the habits you have, whether you're working out or not working out, whether you're smoking or drinking. There's a lot of
sugar. You didn't mention sugar at all. Thank goodness.
Sugar.
I'm glad you didn't mention sugar, but I want to ask because I need some help with my sugar. I eat a lot of sugar.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. When you go get the test to see if in the PET scan, to see if you have if the cancers come back, what do? They inject you with sugar, because sugar will find the cancer. Let them do that one time and see if you're going to eat some sugar.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, I feel guilty once in a while when
they inject sugar and the sugar goes right to
it's a glucose. And that's just some people say, well, it's not exactly
it's sugar. I like the way you said it.
But the text will tell you, we're injecting you with glucose, with sugar, and the glucose will make, if there is cancer, light up on the machine. So if that is enough to find cancer, that should be enough to say.
It's going to go and feed it and... I know it. Yeah.
It didn't mean, but there's all kinds of I wish we could do cooking one day. We can do some cooking stuff.
That'd be awesome.
Because you can make stuff with date sweetened. I know this sounds so exciting.
No, I've had many things cooked with dates or but they're usually
Maybe.
bacon wrapped or
Right.
brown sugar. They make them taste good.
But so
Chocolate dip.
everything in moderation. Like,
Yeah.
Say I'm going to have sweets on these days or what, but moderation is key.
Yeah.
But remember, you're preparing every day. So
yeah, I mean, you're
body
speaking right to me
keeps
because I have the inflammation and I eat a ton of sugar. I try to exercise, but it has not been where it is. So you are motivating me to get back out there. I'm still going to have Christmas cookies.
You can have your
I'm
Christmas
gonna have
cookies,
Christmas
but you
cookies.
gotta, what I tell my son, you gotta burn it to earn it. You gotta burn it to earn it. So go burn it, and then you've earned it.
Okay. So as long as I exercise that day,
you gotta earn it. It's not free.
Perfect. I appreciate you very much.
It's been so good to be here.
Well,
we took you on a very,
Yes.
I took you on a very ADD road.
Well, you just are doing so much, and I had so many things that I could look down and talk, and I was like,
we didn't get to it.
No, I actually said to myself, do not try to talk about all this.
No,
because
talk.
then,
time.
Yeah, because the reason I didn't want to is because then it would just go forever, and I wanted to be more specific and enjoy just talking about a few different things.
I took us on a winding.
No, it was absolutely perfect, and I'd love to do this again.
I would love to. We can do more parts. We can cook, do little.
Would love
segments.
to do that.
And I would love expanding where I'm speaking more to not just within healthcare. I want to do more speeches outside of healthcare where I'm talking to people, leaders, or anybody, people in your industry, talking about taking care, prioritizing your well-being and taking care of your health. And also, believing in the work that you do, even when others may not believe in you, how you have to believe in yourself. I really want to expand because there's so much insight I've learned from my journey that goes well beyond healthcare.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, we'll call this chapter 1 of our podcast series. So I hope to be doing this for a long time. So I would absolutely love to have you back. The cooking show sounds perfect to me. Especially if you could teach me how to cook slightly healthy.
We'll try. Okay. Sounds like it's a deal.
All right. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Are you having a David day?